Hey everyone, you've probably heard someone say, "Oh, it's all an illusion," right? But what if that's not just some throwaway line? What if it's pointing to something incredibly deep? Well, today we're diving headfirst into this very idea, the concept of Maya, and we're going to be guided by the wisdom of a truly great sage from the Advaita tradition.
So where are we getting all this from? Our guide for this whole explainer is the revered saint Kanchi Mahapriyava. His teachings, which are captured in this amazing 7-volume series called Voice of God, are just packed with these crystal-clear analogies that make this super tricky concept, well, a little easier to wrap your head around. All right, let's just jump right in with the big, mind-bending question at the heart of all this. Think about your world. Everything you see, hear, and feel every single day. What if? What if that's not the real deal? What if what you think of as reality is something else entirely?
Okay, so let's get into our first big idea here, the saint and the illusion. And right off the bat, we've got to clear up the #1 misunderstanding about Maya. A lot of people hear illusion, and they think it means the world is just poof, gone, non-existent. But you know what? That's not what's being said at all.
Check this out. This is a really key distinction. The common view is that the world is non-existent. The philosophy uses this kind of old-school example, a barren woman's son. It's a total contradiction, right? It just can't exist. But the Advaita view is different. It says the world isn't non-existent, it's an apparent reality. It appears to be real. And here's the kicker. It's supported by an ultimate reality, something that's always there, called Brahman. Think of Brahman as the one, single, unchanging consciousness that's the source of literally everything.
So, okay, if the world isn't just nothing, then what is it? Well, to help us get it, the sages came up with a perfect analogy. Mirage, not nothingness.
Okay, so what exactly is Maya? It's an apparent reality that seems totally real for a while, but it's not the ultimate permanent truth. The best way to think about it? A mirage in the desert. You've seen pictures, right? You see what looks like a shimmering lake up ahead. It's definitely there. You can see it. It's not nothing, but you can't drink its water. It doesn't have the real substance of water. And that, right there, is Maya. We experience the world. We perceive it, but it isn't the final, unchanging truth.
And this quote just nails it. Even to the wise who know the world is Maya, it still appears. Just think about it. If you're a scientist who knows exactly why a mirage happens, you still see the mirage, don't you? You just don't go running towards it thinking you're going to get a drink. It's the same idea here. An enlightened sage, a jnani, they still see the world. They're not blind. They just get what it really is, a temporary show, not the fundamental bedrock reality.
But wait a minute, you might be thinking, okay, fine, it's an illusion, but my pain feels pretty real. My joy feels real. My fear is definitely real. How does that work? This is where things get really cool, because to explain this, we have probably the most famous analogy in all of Advaita.
All right, let's walk through the rope and the snake. Picture this. It's dark, you see something on the ground, and you're sure it's a snake. Step 2, misinterpretation. You're not seeing a rope, you're seeing a snake. And step 3, a very, very real reaction. Your heart is pounding out of your chest. You're terrified. Now, here's the key. Was there ever really a snake there? No. But was your fear real? You bet it was. Then, someone flips on a light. Step 4, realization. Oh, it's just a rope. And instantly, step 5, the fear is gone. That totally real panic just vanishes. That's how Maya works. The world, like that snake, might not be ultimately real, but man, our reactions to it sure are.
And you know, there's actually a technical term for this, Pratibhasika Satyam. It basically means a temporary or transactional reality. That snake existed for you. It was real enough to make you terrified, but only as long as you were under the illusion. So the takeaway here is huge. The world of Maya feels real, and for all our day-to-day purposes, it is real, until that light of true knowledge finally comes on.
So this all leads to a really interesting question, doesn't it? Do we all see this illusion in the same way? Well, the answer is a big no. How an ordinary person like you or me sees the world is completely different from how an enlightened sage sees it. Okay, so for the ordinary person, the Jivan, Maya is like adding zeros after the number 1. We see ourselves as the 1, and then every other person, every object, every experience is another 0. Suddenly you've got 10, 100, 1,000, a whole world of different separate things. But for the enlightened sage, the jnani, it's totally different. For them, it's like looking at a bunch of different sweets. You know, one's shaped like a horse, another like a flower. They don't get caught up in the shapes. They see the one thing they're all made of, sugar. They see the one single reality, Brahman, underneath all of Maya's different forms.
You know, this reminds me of another beautiful example from Kanchi Mahaprayava. Imagine a little kid who sees a sugar candy shaped like a bitter gourd, something they know tastes awful. The kid, completely fooled by the shape, is scared it's going to be bitter and just won't touch it. Well, that's us. We get so caught up in the painful, bitter-looking shapes of the world that we don't realize the substance underneath it all is actually pure bliss, pure Brahman.
All right, let's get ready for the final piece of the puzzle here, and honestly, this one might be the most mind-bending of all. It's an idea that completely flips our whole understanding of what it means to be awake and what it means to see things clearly.
Just listen to this. It's inspired by the Bhagavad Gita. What is day for us is night for the sage. What is night for us is day for the sage. Whoa, what on earth could that mean? It's basically saying that our whole perception of reality is completely upside down compared to someone who has real knowledge.
So here's how it works. Our daylight, the world we see, is actually just the dim light of Maya. It's just enough light for us to make out all the separate objects and people. But the ultimate reality, Brahman, that's like staring directly into the sun. It's so brilliant, so dazzling, that to our normal eyes, it's just blinding darkness. We can't see anything in it. The sage, though, their eyes have adjusted to that light. So, our day is their night. And that brilliant darkness we can't handle, that's their true day.
So, let's just leave you with that to think about. We've seen that Maya isn't just nothing, it's an apparent reality, like a mirage. We've seen how something that isn't really there, like a snake on a rope, can create very real fear. And it all leads to this one final, really challenging question. This world feels so solid, right? So clear. But what if that very clarity, the daylight we think we're living in, is actually hiding a reality that's infinitely brighter? What if our brightest day is someone else's darkest night?
Wow, pretty deep stuff, right? If these ideas from the teachings of Kanchi Mahaprayava got you thinking, and maybe gave you a new perspective, do us a favor and hit that like button, share it with someone who'd appreciate it, and definitely subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for joining us.